The Empress Club can certainly run the race of her life today. It should be one great contest between these two horses who are so closely matched in the betting, although Empress Club, 2-1 now, looks generous odds to me if she can reproduce her very best form. Remember, only beaten once in her life from 7 starts. And as the field begins to make their way out of the parade ring now, the atmosphere really beginning to bristle because the Top Sport Bloodline Guineas, one of the greatest occasions in racing because of the sheer class of the horses who win this race. Over the years, we've had many great winners. We think in terms of horses like Colorado King, Hawaii, Shah Abbas, the great match between In Full Flight and Sentinel in 1972 when there was a dead heat between those two horses. Politician, Bold Tropics, Quarry Town, Gatecrasher, Prontissimo back in 1985, and in the last 2 years, in 1990, that great contest was Face North, and last year, the filly Star Effort. The horses are now on parade for the 1 million rand Top Sport Bloodline Guineas. Harmel Herber will take us through them as they come out on parade.
There's number 1, Bold Statement, Glen Hatton the saddle, followed out by number 2, Corning Touch, winner of the Cape Breeders' Stakes, and the Basil Stark, one of the strongly fancied runners. One of the outsiders, number 3, Earl King, Conrad Wilkinson in the saddle. And there's the ruling favourite, Unaware. And now in picture number 4, Fast Gun, winner of the Top Sport Bloodline Million. The red and green colours, number 4, Fast Gun.
Actually, no.
And I see in the meantime that Secret Horde has broken away to canter down. As we look at number 6, Military Muse and Mark Sutherland, second of the Millard runners. There's number 9, Secret Ring, runner-up in the Top Sport Bloodline Million, second in the Natal Breeders. 10, the Port Elizabeth visitor, Spark of Peace, Gavin Fenter in the saddle. There's number 11, Springing Guest, Robbie Sham in the saddle, carries a red cap today. Has a very poor draw to overcome. Number 12, Subic Bay, winner of the Natal Breeders, Glyn Schofield in the saddle. 13 is Telescopic, one of the rank outsiders in the field. In the white cap, 14, the Decorator, Dougie White in the saddle. And there she is, the filly Empress Club. Can a filly win 2 rares in a row? 17, the emergency acceptor, Walden's Earl. Remember, he replaces number 7, Phantom Talk, who was a late scratching. Military Muse cantering past. Secret Ring, number 9. Has a poor draw to overcome. I believe Gavin Howe is going to drop him in behind. Number 10, Spark of Peace from Port Elizabeth. Number 11, Springing Guest. 12, Subic Bay. 13, Telescopic. 14, the Decorator. That's number 17, Walden's Earl, turning to canter down. Eric Chellin has the right. Fourth in the Administrators Champion Juvenile last season, but has done nothing this term to suggest that he's in with a chance. And the last horse to canter down, number 16, Empress Club. Has all the ability, has the trip taken its toll?
saw it in the gallops on Monday. What do you say?
Gallop was good. I came down especially to work him and get a feel myself. Myself know that everything's well, and he done what we want him to do, and he looks well.
Okay, what about the other horses in the field?
Well, in this race, I'm more worried about the interference. You know, it's a very rough race. It's a fast race, sharp bend, and you know, if he can keep out of trouble and have a nice passage, I don't think they're going to beat him.
Jeff, do you know that most horses have won from draw number 7, and that's where you are?
I'm not superstitious. I just want to keep out of trouble.
So well, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robbie.
Well, that's the horse that's been causing a lot of trouble in the parade ring because he's absolutely jumping out of his skin. A little bit more settled now that Jeffrey's been on his back and taken him down. You see Jeffrey running across there now just to make sure he's absolutely right. The preparation has been great. He's an outstanding horse. And, of course, there are many very well-bred horses in South Africa and many stud farms. We took the pleasure of driving out and going to some of the studs earlier this week.
This is High Joe Stud, once owned by Terence Millard, the Park Farm, the home of Proclaim and the new stallion, My Earl. Sweet Chestnut was brought up here, won the Fillies Guineas, a 13-time winner. The Magic Divine Forest, the highest price yearling of her day, broke the South African record. Hamilton Lady, a 9-time winner. And Star Effort, Tony Novik's Star Effort, was bred here. Here is the dam of Corning Touch. Cornada, a 3-time winner, has produced some wonderful progeny, Hyman.
Well, Martin, yes, she produced Corn Belt. Unfortunately, he only ran twice, but he won them both. He won the Western Province Nursery, beating Simonside, who was a top sprinter, by 6 lengths. Won it very easily, and unfortunately that was the end because he died when he went to Durban just before the administrators.
Also produced Corning Touch and Thatched Roof, and it's a family that goes back to Bolan Boy, a 9-time winner, and Tor Prince, an 11-time winner. Bold Statement is by Proclaim, who stands here at High Joe Stud and is out of Umboldi, a Regent Street mare, an 8-time winning mare.
Yes, she started very well, Martin, as a broodmare. Her first foal has already won 2, and her second foal, Bold Statement, has now won 4. He's lost 2 in succession, and as you know, he's in the Guineas.
This is the Kronenberg estate, where in 1785 Paul Kruger used to visit the Cillier family. Part of this wonderful part of the world is the Langeberg Stud in the Franschhoek Valley. Some of the fine horses to race from here: Come to Daddy, World Trade, a 9-time winner in the Cape, High Arrival, and Fine Regent. The Dam of the Decorator, Sauciness, a very proud part of Langeberg Stud. Donnie Barr is here with me, and this lovely mare has produced quite a few useful horses.
Yes, Martin, she has produced a Dalaris, a 3-time winner, Brazen Lass, the Decorator, Cheeky Chatter, and Double Talk, which was placed 2 or 3 times. So she had 5 runners, 4 winners and 1 placed.
Well, that's pretty useful. And the Decorator himself, by Wicked Will, he is, of course, a grandson of the fantastic Mill Reef.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Telescopic, of course, is also from Langeberg Stud. 7,500 rand yearling, can you believe it, to the highest priced horse in the race, Corning Touch, 340,000 rand. Robbie Shammers just runs 2 in a row. Can he do it again? He's with Henny.
Yes, 2 in a row you've just done. Can you make it 3 in a row, Robbie?
Well, we're really going to try. Yeah, I
But
think
your horse is drawn 15. That's not a good draw at Milnerton in this race.
no, it's extremely bad draw, and it's going to make things very difficult for us. But, you know, we'll have to just give it a go from there.
Robbie, but looking at your last run in the Basel Stock, that was a pretty good one.
Yes, it was first time over 14 around the turn. He done well, and except for the bad draw, which seems to make things difficult, I'll give myself quite a big chance here. A difficult field though.
I think it's just about time that the horses are going into the starting stalls. Tell me, what is your opinion of Empress Club?
I think she's looking fine, but I think the horse to be is probably unaware.
That's Robbie Sham, and as he says, Unaware might be the one to beat. We're all very concerned about Empress Club having drifted in the betting. Unaware has that wonderful draw of 7, and the draw is very important, Robin.
It is, because this, by tradition, is a roughly run race. They do go very fast from the start of this race, and the horses on the outside come across to try and overcome their draw, so there's always bunching and barging. But I've noticed in the last 31 years that draw 7 has won on 5 occasions, more than any other draw, and that's the lucky spot for Unaware.
A chance to take a peep at some of the horses now that just as they're loading there, you saw Secret Horde going in, and Jeffrey Lloyd standing fairly quietly now, while Unaware can do anything, but he's in magnificent shape. He's just one of those very, very striking horses, a beautiful son of Northern Guest, therefore a grandson of the great, brilliant Northern Dancer, and going through into shots and going into the stalls, Military Muse from the Tony Millard stable.
Geoffrey Lloyd has won this race in the past. Back in 1989, he took advantage of the slow early pace to drive St. John's Wood into an early lead, and the sprinter stole the Guineas that year at 20-1. So Geoffrey Lloyd is a former winner of the Bloodline Million Guineas. A very nervous guy today will be Tony Millard. Remember, Terence Millard retired, so Empress Club was entrusted to his hands. He was the champion filly last year as a 2-year-old, and all eyes will be on Tony Millard to see if he could succeed his father in winning this race with the Argentine-bred filly Empress Club. The last time an Argentine-bred horse won this race, it was Prontissimo back in 1983. He was co-owned by Laurie Jaffe, so Mr. Jaffe and his wife, Jean, could win this Guineas for a second time, and that's a rarity for any owner, because, of course, the pinnacle of any owner's life is to win a classic race, and this is the greatest of them all. Now, the horses are beginning to load into the starting stalls. Number 1, although that is not number 1, that looks to be like Springing Guest number 11. He's drawn 15. Robbie Sham said it's a shocking draw. In fact, it has won 3 times that draw. In 1962, Nervous Tension, In Full Flight in 72, and Prontissimo in 85. So on 3 occasions, number 15 draw has come to light, and he'll have that task to decide whether to go strongly from the break to get a good position, or to drop out and try and come from the rear like Young England did when he won from 16 draw some years later. Here's the emergency acceptor, number 17, Walden's Earl. He's lucky to get in this race because number 7, Phantom Talk, was withdrawn, so he replaces him as an emergency acceptor. One son of Phantom Earl replacing the other. Phantom Earl has become a very consistent sire these days. He's a locally bred horse who's doing really well. He has 2 runners in the Guineas and would have had 3 if Walden's Earl had got in on his own account to begin with. Flying Catch by Capture Him out of a Prince Tor mare. He's one of the long shot hopefuls in this race, ridden by Freddie McCaskill. He's drawn wide towards the outside as well. In the pink colours, the very expensive buy, 340,000 Rand Corning Touch, top-priced yearling at the Top Sport National Yearling Sales. Very encouraging to see a very expensive horse doing so well. He's obviously a high-class horse. He won the Basil Stark Guineas trial by a short hit from Spark of Peace. The key is going to be whether or not he's able to stay the extra distance. I can see he's getting rather worked up there. These horses are beginning to boil over, absolutely tuned to the key on Guineas Day. And unfortunately, sometimes this mixture of tension and temperament, which one needs to go with confirmation in producing a top-class horse, just begins to boil over with all the hype and pomp of a great day's racing. Fast Gun, winner of the Bloodline Million, he knows what a big day is all about, and he's remarkably calm. Yeah, they have to use the tapes to get him to come into the starting stalls. Fast Gun by the 26-year-old stallion Mexico, and it was remarkable that a stallion who's so old could produce the winner of such a good race. He was also voted the champion 2-year-old colt last season, even though he narrowly failed to win the Administrator's Champion Juvenile. But his performances over the season were such that voters voted in favour of him being earned that Archer Award of champion 2-year-old colt. This season, he did run 3rd in the Dingaan Stakes, the White Horse Dingaans in the Transvaal. He's also had to travel down rather like Empress Club, and it remains to be seen whether he can reproduce his best form here today after that rather long road journey down. Well, there seems to be some difficulties down at the start there, because Flying Catch did not go in, and neither did Corning Touch, and I can't quite see what the hold-up is, but it may well be that there's been some sort of infringing there at the start. The rest of the field waiting very patiently, and the tension mounting now as the last couple of horses begin to go into the starting stalls. Robbie Sham going for his 3rd winning ride of the afternoon on Springing Guest, causing the hold-up. They've had a blindfold on him. He now goes in. He's also a son of Northern Guest, like Unaware. Fast Gun to go in, and the last 2 to come, and then the race will be off. So, meantime, we'll cross to Jaham Al-Herber, our commentator, up there in the commentary box.
Thanks, Robin. Just 2 left to load. Fast Gun, who faces up now in the green and red colours, and then the fancied Waters runner, Corning Touch. Hannah's working now on Fast Gun. After that, Corning Touch will complete the lineup. Fast Gun reluctant to enter those stalls. Now the handlers shoving him forward. Corning Touch, the last one. Quite some delay at the start with those two horses breaking through the stalls, Springing Guest and Bold Statement. And Corning Touch, meantime, has got quite worked up, sweating up there, and he's not that keen to load. However, those aren't the smallest handlers in the world, and when they decide a horse must go in, they usually win. Corning Touch moves in, ready to race. 1,600 meters, the gates are open, they've fired away to a perfect beginning. Fast Gun along the insides, going up handy, Unaware right there, and Empress Club on the far side, going up to dispute the early lead. The Decorator back at the rail is right there with the leaders. Military Muse is also in contention. Spark of Peace racing just up on the outside of these. Springing Guest is going up handy, he's caught a little wide. Then behind that one, Secret Horde. Corning Touch is going round, horses up on the outside. He's up to look for the lead. Bold Statement just in behind these. They're going a nice gallop. Earl King is back at the rail, 4 lengths off the leader. Then comes Subic Bay. Telescopic racing in behind that. Secret Rings racing back, 1 from last. And Flying Catch is the trailer, about 12 lengths cover them. Corning Touch wins the battle for the lead as they run to the 800. Empress Club on the far side is racing second. Fast Gun back at the rail is racing just in behind these. They being followed then by Spark of Peace up on the outside with Military Muse. Unaware will corner just 4 lengths off the leader. The Decorator has the rails just in behind that. A lot of them came wide. There was quite a scrimmage on the turn. They homeward bound now in the Guineas. Corning Touch the one to catch. Empress Club moving into challenge in the centre. And it's Empress Club who comes through to take it up from Corning Touch. Fast Gun back along the inside. The Decorator wide out is running on. Unaware hooked to the outside. He's still 3 lengths off them. Empress Club hanging all over the course. Fast Gun along the inside. It's Empress Club. Fast Gun trying to come back along the inside. Wide out the Decorator and Unaware. But the filly's going too well, and Empress Club proves she's the champion. The Decorator just got second. It's desperately close for third. Unaware in a photo with Fast Gun. They were followed by Secret Horde, who ran on well in the closing stages, and Corning Touch faded out behind them.
What a phenomenal filly. Last year, I thought I'd seen one of the greatest performances in the history of the Guineas when a filly won this race, Star Effort, but now I've seen everything. This Empress Club remains a winner of 7 of her 8 races, and what a tremendous performance. The betting belies the ability here. She ran on very stoutly in the closing stages, although tending to hang, but her courage did tell in the closing stages, and she tended to fight off that horse on the inside, Fast Gun. And Felix could see does a repeat of what he did on Prontissimo, the other Argentine-bred winner of this race that he rode, and he storms away here in the closing stages to win. I think today we're in the presence of true greatness. It's very seldom I've seen a filly this good, with this great pedigree as well, and this filly really cleaned them up today. She won by 2 lengths, and a very close thing for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th placing between Fast Gun, Unaware, and it looked to me like the Decorator in the minor placings. Very close for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places. And so Laurie Jaffe has done it again. He won this race formally with Prontissimo, the Argentine-bred colt, and today on this filly, Empress Club, they really showed the South African breds up. This great filly, Empress Club, what a performer, I have to enthuse. She's a 3-year-old filly by Farnesio, out of Elysee by El Gran Capitan, and Tony Millard, what a dream for his training career. Remember, this is the first season that he's trained. He assumed the mantle of trainer of Empress Club from his father, Terence Millard, who retired last year. And really, this has taken him towards the top of the owner's table, rather the trainer's table. I think he was in 4th place going into this race, and this performance will take him right up towards the front rankers.
And with me, Janine Coetzee, wife of jockey Felix Coetzee. Janine, how are you feeling?
Very happy, very happy. Shaking all over, and I'm just very pleased.
Very exciting race.
Very. It looked very easy, but I'm sure it wasn't.
There's a dash there.
Yes, looks like it.
Thank you, Janine.
Well, I'm very excited. Janine Coetzee, the wife of Felix Coetzee, is the 2nd Guineas winner after Prontissimo. And today he rode much the same race because Prontissimo was also drawn wide. On Empress Club, I noticed that he broke out very well from that 12 starting stall, went up towards the leaders, used the filly up a lot more than I think he would have liked in the early stages. And that's why she tired towards the end, but really her heart pulled out and she went on going.
Well, Empress Club, trained by Tony Millard, son of the maestro. You must be feeling fantastic.
Great day, great day.
Jean Jaffe goes by and says fantastic. She looks slightly light in the parade ring.
Martin, she is a very light filly, and I've actually got more condition on her now than I've ever had. Look, you know, we had a couple of setbacks with coming down to Cape Town. That was my only real worry, but she's absolutely brilliant.
The way she overcame that draw, stayed on, fast gun came at her, and she went again.
Yes. You know, Martin, I said to Felix, you know, jump smart and sit up there. I said, don't be scared to take it up and ride it as it comes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, this filly, Empress Club, now returning to the winner's box, and you can see what a popular victory it is in the Cape. Tony Millard might be stabled in the Transvaal, where I'm sure his popularity will hold true out there, but down here in the Cape, a victory by the Millard stable and Felix could see is very well heralded. And right around the parade ring now, an enormous crowd gathering to bring this horse, Empress Club, and the connections into the #1 box. And let's not forget the breeder here, because the breeder, the Mendotegi family of Harris Abelengo, also bred Prontissimo, so they've achieved a notable double in winning the Top Sport Bloodline Guineas for the second time. Also very happy with today's result will be Mr. Ken McKenzie of Litchfield Stud, because he owns the two half-sisters, Ecuri and Epoch, who are both champions in South Africa. Ecuri was a champion two-year-old. She ran second in this race, the Sea Warrior, some years ago, so her half-sister atones for that defeat. And Epoch was a champion three-year-old as well. So we now have 3 fillies from this wonderful family, representative here for future breeding generations in South Africa. And what a great mare this is going to make when she finally goes back to stud. Here's the isolated slow motion of the finish. And this great filly, Empress Club, storms away to win. Although she doesn't win the extra stake money of the candidates for the Top Sport Bloodline Guineas, she wins half of what the South African breds would earn. She certainly showed that she's going to be a real force of the future.
And with me, a very excited Jean Jaffe, co-owner of the winner Empress Club. Jean.
It was very exciting. She is an exceptional filly. She is quite marvelous. We really are very, very thrilled.
And Martin over here with the winning jockey.
Oh, Felix, what a ride. Felix, you won on Prontissimo. Does this give you as much pleasure?
Yes, it certainly did, and being a filly, I think it gave me a bit more pleasure. She showed what heart she's got and what class, and to get over from that draw and then relax and then give that terrific burst at the end. I mean, those top horses, they never really got to her, did they?
I was very scared something might get away and that you might have to chase because of the speed, but you were determined to stay in the picture.
Well, I was actually listening to your commentary earlier on in the day, Martin. You said that we had to be up close. And Tony had said to me if I wanted to lead or if I wanted to drop her in, it was all right, you know. However she felt, and she was just going very well all the way.
When Fast Gun came at you on the inside, did you falter slightly?
Not really, no. I was trying to nurse her because I'd used her a lot early on. I was saving a little bit for that last half, you know.
Brilliant ride. Congratulations.
Thanks, Martin.
Now here is the official result of the 1 million rand Top Sport Bloodline Guineas Grade 1 over 1,600 meters. First, the Argentinian bred number 16, Empress Club. Second, number 14, the Decorator. Third, number 15, Unaware, who I think got into quite a lot of trouble in the race. He seemed to be boxed in and got into running difficulties. And fourth placing, number 4, Fast Gun. A truly great result. And those of us who have been fortunate enough to witness this great result will always remember that Empress Club was one of the best ever winners of the Top Sport Bloodline Guineas.
Racing is all about a half-sister to Epoch, Ecuri, great breeding, Empress Club, a tremendous ride. Last year, Star Effort won the filly, and now 2 years in a row we've had a filly winning the Top Sport Bloodline Guineas, so there's great excitement here. She proved her class, travel all the way, having to come and not flying, which makes it a lot harder. So what a filly. It's all to Empress Club, Tony Millard, and the Jaffes, and of course Felix Coetzee. So from Millerton, a very excited Millerton, we say goodbye and return you to the start.